Hi there, this is Bruce from Bruce Fixes Stuff, and on today's episode we're going to change a battery in an 07 Chevy Avalanche. Now, it doesn't so much matter what vehicle we're doing it in because the basic process of changing the car battery is the same. What differs is the location of the battery and the type of hold-down system it's got to hold it in place. Some batteries are up at the front by the grill, some of them farther back by the firewall. Excuse me. Some of them cause you to sneeze. Some of them, like Audis for example, are in the trunk. And I had to change one on an Audi a couple of years ago where I had to take the spare tire and everything out, and it actually sat underneath the spare tire. So, yeah, quite a pain in the ass job that one was. But anyway, the basic process of changing a battery is the same. We're on our way to the store right now to get a new battery. And we want to choose one that's got enough cold cranking amps, because what the problem is now, this battery still works, it's just weak. In the cold weather, if I drive the truck every day, it's fine. If I let it sit for 2 or 3 days, it won't start without a boost or charging. So I know the battery's getting weak. I don't want to be left stranded, so I'm going to replace it before it won't start. So also, a bad battery puts extra strain on your charging system. So we don't want that either. So what we're going to do is go get a new battery now. We're going to get one that's got a lot of cold cranking amps. The one I've got in here now has 770. And then we're going to get into where the battery is located on this vehicle. I'll show you a couple of different types of hold downs and different locations for the battery on different vehicles. And I'll explain the importance of which terminal comes off first and which terminal goes back on first. Is it vital? No, but could it protect you from a possible major problem? Yes. So we're going to show you the safest way to disconnect the battery so you don't have any problems, any shocks, anything like that. And I'm going to show you the right way to hook it back up to. Okay, so we're going to get on that. As soon as we get the battery, we should be at the store very soon. On this truck, the battery is up here and it's underneath this bracket, so you got to undo these 2 bolts back here, these 2 bolts here, 10mm socket to undo the terminals, and down there you've got to undo that because this thing down here is the hold down. So you undo that bolt, take it out, and that's what holds the battery in place. On the General Lee, the battery goes in at the diagonally opposite corner. It's over there on the truck. It's here on the General Lee, and it's got a different type of hold down. This one's got a bar going across, and it tightens with these wing nuts that hook in down there like that. Either way, it works. It's just a method of holding the battery in place. It attaches it down to the tray. They're done in different locations for different reasons. Like I said, some of them are in the trunk. We have now arrived at Canadian Tire, and I'm just going to park. And I parked next to a cart corral intentionally because I'm going to bring another battery in with me. Most places will charge you what they call a core charge until you bring back your old battery. But if you bring another battery in with you, and it doesn't have to necessarily be the one from that car, just another vehicle battery, they will give you the core charge off the bill because they'll take the other battery instead of charging you the core charge. So I wanted to park near the carts so that I can put the battery in there instead of having to carry it in. So now let's go get a battery and we'll come back, and when we go home we'll change it. Okay, now I've got the new battery in the back of the truck there, sitting there ready for me to put it in when I get home. And something really interesting happened, which is great news. I have one of their credit cards that gets you points at Canadian Tire, and it's like Canadian Tire money, like free money on your card. So anytime I use my MasterCard anywhere, I get points that add up to money that I can use at Canadian Tire. So I actually had more than enough to pay for this battery. So it's basically like getting a free battery, and the total bill would have been $255 and change. So I got that $255 battery for free. So I'm not complaining about that at all. It's the cheapest car battery I've ever got. So next step would be putting it in. Okay, so I've got some basic tools. I've got an extension and a 13 mil socket, which is the right size for here, and the right size for the battery hold down there. I've got a 10 mil socket, which is the right size for the battery terminals. Now, it's semi-important that we let's just do this in the right order here. Well, let's unhook the battery in the right order. Now, if by chance we're on the positive and the tool accidentally hit any of the metal, it's going to short out, it's going to arc, and sparks will be everywhere. Not a good plan. And that's because the body is grounded. So the body is a negative. That's your negative, and it's connected to the body. So anywhere on the body is a negative. So you touch positive to negative, you get sparks. So if we disconnect the battery from the negative side first, we don't have to worry about it accidentally hitting, because that is the same as this. And if the if the tool accidentally goes between there and here, like this, I'll show you. There's the positive, there's the negative, there's the body. It's not hurting anything, okay? Because that is negative. So what we're going to do is we're going to disconnect the negative first, and then once the negative is off, it won't matter if this touches the body because it's not a full circuit, okay? We're going to have to take this bracket off. So I'm going to take this off first just to show you. It's a little easier to show you with the bracket off. So let's start there. Okay, now I'm going to undo the negative on the battery. Loosen that off, and then I can take the negative terminal off and move it out of the way. Now if this accidentally touches here, it's not shorting anything out. Okay. Then we can take this off and just move that out of the way, tuck it under there so it can't go anywhere. Now we'll switch sockets. We'll undo the bracket. Okay, I'm going to go get a new battery and change that. That wouldn't take long, I knew that, because I had another one just sitting right there waiting for me. And now, undo that bolt. Now, these are going to be a little harder because it's too much room. I'm going to go get a ratchet. Okay, not even a long for time for me to go to the garage to get it. Now I'm back with the ratchet. still have to be careful and hold this up, because if this touches both terminals together, you will have the same problem of it shorting out. We don't want that. Oh, it bugs me when you get it almost all the way out and then it gets tight again. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to squirt a little bit of oil into each of these before I reassemble. Now we put the socket on the extension, put it down on that bar, that hold down, and that was easy. Now you don't have to use a gun, but it helps. It is very nice to have. What happens is there's a lip on the battery, and this edge goes over it and holds it down kind of like that, and it stops it from lifting up. Now, battery is undone, and all I gotta do is manhandle this sucker out of here. Which isn't as easy as I make it look. And now we grabbed a new battery out of the back of the truck. And I got a handle on it this time. Literally, there's a handle on this battery, which there wasn't on the other one. So, you put that back in. There's a lip for it to tuck in under on this side. Then this goes back on. And to avoid cross-threading, it's always a good idea to start the bolt by hand, which is what I'm doing right now. And it's going in good, so now I can tighten it. Now I'm just going to put a couple of squirts of penetrant in here. But I'm not going to put that on until I hook up the wires, just because it's easier. And I can show you what I'm doing. This is how it looks without that cover. And see if I can find my terminal cleaner brush. Now, I suspect the shop elves have been cleaning up, and that's why I can't find my battery terminal cleaner brush. But I have one of these. It's like a toothbrush with wire bristles. So that'll do the job just fine. And get that terminal all cleaned up. This cover goes on. Now the terminals on the actual battery are nice and clean. And then this goes down positive first. So that, you know, because it's not connected, you know, you can short it out, it won't hurt. Oh, that's still not quite tight enough. No, it's still not down enough. Now we tighten it down. Okay, now we're good. Now we put the negative on after we clean it a little bit. Now, don't be surprised if the horn starts going. Sometimes that happens when you have a battery disconnected. But sometimes it doesn't. So we're good. That's on good and tight too. Now, we'll put this back on. You can fold down the handles. Put this back on. Now that I sprayed oil in there, it goes in nice and easy. Sometimes they don't like to come off and you gotta kind of persuade them. Now, instead of using the same ratchet, I'm going to use this one to show you something kind of cool. Normally, when you go, it goes one way, ratchets one way, and then turns the other way. And then ratchets and turns. But, interesting thing about this, if you hold this, when you go this way, it turns. When you go this way, it turns as well. So it doesn't matter which way you turn the ratchet handle, the socket keeps turning. So I'm going to zoom in over there on the battery, on the bracket, and show you how that works. See, normally it would turn and then ratchet. But if I do this, it turns while I'm going that way, and turns while I'm going back. Turns, turns. I'll show you again. Turns, 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 turns. That bolt is turning the whole time, no matter which way I'm turning this wrench. That's tight. Same idea down here. It's a real time saver. But, as I pointed out, now that it's lubed up, I can put these in real good by hand. And then I just have to snug it up. Okay, okay. And then this plastic cover clips on over here, like that. There's supposed to be another little cover here that I'm missing, but that's okay. And now we're going to start this puppy. There, as expected, starts right up. Now, I hope you liked that video. I hope you learned that you shouldn't be afraid of changing a battery, and as long as you do it the way I said, with the negative, disconnecting the negative first and reconnecting the negative last, you'll be safe. So if you haven't already, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I'd love to hear your comments. I'd love to hear if you knew that reasoning why about disconnecting the negative first, because a lot of people know, oh, I heard I should change take the negative off first. Yeah, I knew that. But if you forget why, as long as you understand why, you can figure it out and keep it safe. Okay, so please leave comments. Let me know what you think. hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and we'll see you next time on Bruce Fixes Stuff.